Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be calling attorneys to see what the actual legal ramifications are in a same-sex couple in terms of this whole Damo and Crissy situation. Does she have rights? Does she not have rights? Because there's a lot of people on the internet who say, oh, she didn't sign the adoption papers, so she has no rights and things like that. So I'm going to get down to the bottom of it by an actual attorney, somebody who actually knows what they're talking about and not these internet people who don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get the answers for y'all, and I want to see what they say. Does Crissy have rights? Should she just let this go? Should she just call it a quits? What this scenario is, I'm about to get to the bottom of it right now, and I'm about to get to calling these attorneys to see what they have to say. Okay, so let's get into the video. Hi, hello? Hi, I was calling to get a free consultation.
Okay, I'm an attorney here, and I do family law, custody, and divorce. Why don't you tell me about what's going on?
Okay, I'm not sure if you're or if you do many like lesbian couple, same-sex couple situations.
Well, I don't around very often, but the laws are pretty the same in terms of what kind of relationship is there? You guys married or?
We didn't get married, but we agreed to have the baby together, and we were together with the hello.
Press 1 to send a voicemail.
Hello?
Hi, is this Tiffany?
Yes.
Hi, Tiffany. My name is Mary. I'm calling from law group. Do you actually have a telephone conference scheduled with the attorney?
Yeah, it was at 4 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah, can I go ahead and transfer you?
Yes.
1 second.
Hi, Miss Ross.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. My name is I'm one of the attorneys here. What can I help you with?
Hi. I'm having a complicated situation, and it's like a not normal type of custody situation. I have a same-sex relationship with another individual, and we agreed to have the baby together. We both went through the whole process, and now that we're not together anymore, the other mother is taking the baby from me.
Well, it doesn't even matter that it's a little bit different than our usual situation. The rules are going to essentially be the same for you. So if there's a problem with custody and visitation, she's not allowing you contact, we can always petition the court and get you custody and visitation orders, just the same as in opposite sex relationships.
Even if we weren't married and I didn't physically like adopt the baby?
Even if you weren't married, the standard then becomes you having to provide proof that you each intended to raise the child together. So do you think that we'd be able to prove that?
Yes.
You went to doctor's appointments, you have text messages, whatever it may be.
Yes, I have all of that. Like we did like a video diary of the whole entire process. So like I have videos of me at the in vitro when she was inseminated. I have videos of us giving like when she went into labor and everything like that. Like I was there for the entire process, like giving her trigger shots, everything.
I don't think we're going to have any problem then. We would just file this just as if you were a typical couple that, you were filing it just under the normal EPR rules. The fact that you're same sex or the fact that you weren't married isn't going to change a thing here.
Oh, okay, even though like we didn't set the adoption in motion?
No, the adoption is not a requirement.
Oh, okay, because that's what people were telling me. They were like, well, you didn't adopt the baby and you didn't sign the adoption, so you won't be able to see the baby. And I'm like, but we made this agreement together.
Adoption is one way to establish your parental rights, but it's not the only way. And this situation is becoming more and more common in California and throughout. So they've made rules to address that specific circumstance. So I'm pretty certain that we're going to have no problem at all if we can show that you guys intended to raise the child together.
Oh, okay, and what would something like this cost me?
Our general retainer for a new EPR filing is $3,500, and we quote that amount because by the time it's said and done, and we prepared the EPR, gotten her served, gone through mediation, appeared at the hearing, and then finalized the orders, that's about where we're going to end up on our hourly fee. Now, it could be slightly above that or slightly below that, depending on how it actually plays out in your particular matter. That's a pretty good estimate. And to get started, we would just take $2,000 down.
Okay, so I'd have to pay you $2,000, and then you get started on the case and file everything, and then we set like a court date.
Get it prepared, filed. The court date isn't going to be until the end of February, perhaps in the beginning of March, depending on when we get the ball rolling. So we usually put the other $1,500 balance out for about 30 days, sometimes 45 days. That gives you some time to take care of that.
Okay, because she's not even allowing me to see the baby anymore, so that means I wouldn't be able to see the baby until that long?
Well, I mean, you aren't going to have a judge's order until that point, but in reality, we deal with that situation a lot. And once we get the EPR filed, I'm going to get her served, and with that, I'd either include a letter with it to let her know our position, or I'll contact her. And what it is that if she's refusing you contact, but ultimately they're going to find that you have parental rights, that's really going to affect her view in the court's eyes in that she's not willing to co-parent with you. And that's one of the biggest factors in custody and visitation. So, I mean, to answer your question, if she decided that she wasn't going to enforce the order or follow the recommendation, we don't have any order to enforce, so we could end up waiting. But given the warning that it's going to backfire on them, and once she's had a chance to confer with whoever it is that's advising her, most of the time we're able to get some kind of visitation started in the interim.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel so much better because I was feeling so hopeless in this situation. So that makes me feel so much better because I was just like, wow, like I just never was expecting anything like this.
And she may not want to agree to it, but when she gets served and she gets the letter from our office, she's probably going to consult with someone. And at that point, if they're aware of what's going to happen at all, they're going to let her know that if she refuses to give you any contact with no good reason, that's really going to backfire on her.
Oh, okay. Her only issue is because I have a new girlfriend now, so that's her problem.
Well, that's precisely the kind of thing that the court doesn't approve of. I mean, if the issue was that you were violent or you were on drugs, that might be something that went to the best interest. But being motivated by revenge is not going to be something the court's going to approve of.
Yeah, no, I'm not a danger to the baby. I've never hurt the baby. The baby's never been hurt in my care or anything like that.
You don't have anything to worry about then. We got to see how it shakes out. She could decide to play hardball, and if that's the case, we'll address that at mediation and at the hearing. But in most cases, they don't do that.
Oh, okay. And so I don't get paid until next week. So would I be able to give you a ring back when I'm able to officially finalize everything or get it all going?
Of course, that's no problem at all. In the meantime, I would just advise you to do whatever you can to create as much evidence that you're trying to be involved. In other words, message her over text, email, something that we can actually have a record of, where you're asking her, why are you excluding me? Are you just excluding me because of my new relationship? You know I'm safe around the baby. You know we agreed to raise her together. Is it a he or she?
It's a he.
A he, excuse me. But you get my drift.
Right, I get what you're saying.
You essentially need to have a lot of evidence to show that, immediately when she cut me off, I contacted her, and I told her that I was going to get custody, and I told her that I was safe, and I told her that I would agree to whatever terms she offered, but she wouldn't even reply. She wouldn't send me anything back. The point is to show that you're being reasonable, you're trying to co-parent, she's not.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm going to give you a ring back when I get paid so that I can get the ball rolling. I just was so defeated, and I just absolutely needed to get the information that I need so that I can go forward.
You certainly have a leg to stand on.
Okay, and thank you again.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Call from To accept, press 1. To send a voice message.
Hello?
Hey. Hi, it's Attorney.
Hi. Yes, hi. I was
Hi,
calling
returning your call myself.
Okay, I was calling to get a free consultation.
Okay, I just need, sorry, I was not able to do it at that moment. Who is the other party? What's their name?
Sharon Brown.
Okay, and it's regarding what?
Child custody.
Okay, and so do you guys share a child? Did you guys adopt a child? Do you have a child together?
She had the in vitro process going on, and but we agreed that we were going to raise the child together, even though she was the one that got inseminated.
Did you guys have a written agreement or a contract?
It was more or less like a verbal agreement. I have text messages from our whole entire relationship. We video documented it. We did like a video diary of the entire thing. I was there.
How old is the child?
1, he'll be 2 in March.
2 in March. Okay, and he calls you mom, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, and what is the status in terms of where you guys are living and what you guys are doing? How long did you guys separate?
So we broke up in July, but we had a custody schedule where I would have the baby for 3 days and she would have the baby for 3 days. And we've been doing that since July. Before July, we lived together. So we, both lived in a house together. And then we broke up in July and we kept up this custody thing where it was like 3 days, 3 days, 3 days with me, 3 days with her, 3 days with me, back and forth like that. And then she just recently found out that I have a new girlfriend. So she now is saying that I can no longer see the baby anymore and that she's stripping my rights.
Okay, so I can tell you that, so even if I call you a third party, right, not to be cold, but even if I call you a third party, there is a section that a third party who's not considered, quote, a mom or a dad to the parent should be granted visitation because it's in the child's best interest. Mm-hmm. The child calls you mom, right?
Correct.
I think you fit into the third party realm. I think that, it was anticipated that you both are going to be parents. You guys just never went through the adoption process.
Correct.
So I think you're entitled to custody. Do I think there'll be a battle with custody? When was the last time that you saw the child?
A week ago.
Okay, and now she's not letting you see the child.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and how were you guys sharing the child? Like, what was the sharing schedule?
It was 3 days, so she would stay 3 days with her, and then she would come with me for 3 days, and then we would, switch off on that 7th day.
Okay, and then she just stopped. It's completely stopped now?
Yeah, she completely stopped.
Okay.
She said that I can't see the baby anymore, and that, she's not going to let me see him baby.
I think that you definitely need to get custody orders. It would be filed as another petition because you guys aren't married and it's not a petition to establish paternity. And it's like everything else, right? So you can do it on an emergency basis. It probably wouldn't grant it as an emergency, but I think it's worth a shot, depending upon what judicial officer it's up for. Are you in Riverside or San Bernardino County?
Riverside.
Okay. So, in what city are you in?
I'm in Riverside.
Riverside down. You're not just Riverside County. You're in Riverside.
Yeah, I'm in Riverside.
Okay. So you're probably going to be at the downtown courthouse. So it's sort of a unpredictable, depending upon what judicial officer you get, if they would grant emergency orders or not. Mm-hmm. But either way, it gets that. You guys would have to go to mediation. They get a mediation report back, and then we get orders. And it's the complexity is just that we have to use the code section that says that you're a third party that is in the best interest of the child to see the child. Were you and she were not married, correct?
No, but we were engaged. We were set to get married, but we didn't actually go through with it because we were having issues in our relationship.
Which is why you couldn't adopt the baby, right? Because you're not married. So, and you need to be married in order to do that. Okay. Okay. I mean, so that's really the long and short of it. What questions do you have?
What is something like this going to cost? Like, what are my chances in getting visitation? Because there was like, I was talking to some of my friends and they were like, well, you didn't adopt the baby, so you have no rights because it's not,
No, there's a code section. That's why we don't talk to our friends. That don't know anything about the law. There's a code section that is very, very clear about third parties. That says a third party, it could be anybody that affects the child's best interest. And if the child is calling you mom, which your child does call you mom, correct?
Correct. Yes.
They talk. So child calls you mom. You've been in the child's life for all of the child's life. It was anticipated that you were going to be a parent. You couldn't adopt a child because of the situation related to you guys not being married yet. I think that your chances are pretty good. Do I think that you need an attorney for it? Yes, because it's not like I am biologically mom. I think there's nuanced issues that have to go before the court. But I think there's an exceptional chance of you getting custody visitation. So what would it cost? The retainer on it would be $4,000. The hourly rate is the same. It's $350 an hour is what I charge.
Mm-hmm.
And so do I think it'll cost more than that? It depends. I mean, I don't know the other party yet, and I can quickly learn who they are. But what happens is sometimes people amp up,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes people back down when they get served with it. If she amps up, it'll absolutely cost you more than $4,000. If she backs down, possible that it only costs you the $4,000, and you walk away and move on with your life, and you have custody orders.
Okay, so what do you mean by if she like amps up or backs down? Like,
she wants that. So sometimes when I serve people with paperwork, they come to their senses and they go, you know what, it's right. I'm being an asshole. I am going to agree, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was just pissed off and I'm jealous and that she's dating someone else. Sometimes when the person gets the custody paperwork, they decide that they're going to fight it tooth and nail, even if it's the right thing and that they know the courts will probably grant it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. And then we're in court, lots of attorney paperwork going back and forth, and lots of pleadings are being filed, and lots of declarations. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean now.
Makes sense?
Yeah, so like it'll be something that, like, if it was just like one court date turns into like a continuous
one court date
thing.
That it would. You're right. That it probably can cost us about, depending on how long court takes, it probably get close to $4,000. Maybe we get close to $5,000, but probably closer to $4,000. But if it ends up being more than that, it's going to cost more than that. And I can't ever predict it. And I know people hate when I say that, but I in cases that I thought were going to cost $10,000 and it cost me $5,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just too hard to know. It's too much predicting human behavior. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over this with my mom because she's gonna help me with the financial aspect of it. And if she agrees to the $4,000, then I will give you a call back.
That's fine. This is my cell. Your phone doesn't show up because it's just a Google Voice when I called, so I don't know if this is an actual cell number or what I'm calling. Does it show up my cell phone number that I'm calling you from?
Yeah, 88.
No. It's 31.
Mm-hmm.
And you sign a retainer agreement and all of that, and you can either, if you decide to proceed, either do it with, either we can do it electronically or you can come in. It doesn't matter, whatever's better for you.
Oh, okay. And thank you so much. I feel so much better because I felt so defeated. I really do appreciate it. So now I just have to go over this. Yeah, I have to go over this now with my mom to see if she's able to help me with the, the $4,000.
Okay, that's no problem. You have my cell number. You can call me or text me when you want to. You can call the office and leave a message. It doesn't matter. Whatever's good for you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so as you can see, she clearly has rights. There was a lot of people who said that she did not have rights, and turns out because it is established that she was actively in the child's life, she has rights. Now, it's not going to be an easy road. She is going to have to pay legal attorneys, and she's going to have to get a really good attorney on this situation. And I'm sure she's able to, get some rights and some visitation. But I just wanted to clarify those things. A lot of people, there's been a lot of people just condemning this girl because of what Damo has to say. And I just don't think that it's fair. I don't think that it's right. And I actually like Damo. Like, I like her personality. I like her vibe. I'm not even like this big Crissy fan, but I'm just a person. Right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. And I feel like if they established that they were going to be co-parents and they established that they were going to be parents, then I feel like it's not okay for Damo to just up and strip that right from her. I don't think that that's right. I don't think that that's cool at all. And that's how I feel. I did a video talking about how I felt about this situation, and a lot of people was just going down Crissy's throat on the strength of what Damo had to say without actually hearing her side of it. I even seen people say like, oh, well, she didn't want to be a parent, so she don't deserve to be a parent. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people who don't want to be parents, but once you make that agreement, you have to fulfill that obligation. And that's not just an obligation that you can say one day I'm going to do it and then the next day I'm not. I feel like that's jacked up. Like me, for instance, I never ever wanted to be a mom. That was never a life goal of me. I never wanted to be a parent. If somebody had a conversation with me and they'd be like, when you gonna have kids? I used to tell them never. Like I never ever wanted children. And I ended up getting into a situation where I got pregnant. And at that time, I decided that, you know, I'm not going to kill my baby. Even though I didn't initially want a child, I wasn't going to kill my child. And so I went through with it. And now you have, you know, the situation where I have now. I have my daughter. She's beautiful. I love her. And I absolutely love my baby. Like I would die for my baby. Like I would do whatever it takes to provide for her the best life. And I initially did not want children. So because I didn't initially want children in the beginning, does that mean that, oh, I could pick and choose when I want to be a parent? No, I don't think that they should be able to pick and choose. Just because she didn't initially want to be a child, she agreed. That was her agreement. That was her decision to agree to it. And so yeah, I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and Damo wasn't trying to take the baby and she decided not to be in the child's life, I would think that was wrong as well, because at the end of the day, this is the agreement that you had. You don't just get involved with children and just, you know what I'm saying, decide, okay, well, I'm not going to be in bother with you no more. That's not how parenting works. Once you decide to be a parent, you rock that title until the wheels fall off. I don't think that that's okay on Damo's part. And like I said, a lot of y'all side with her. Oh, she cheated on Damo. Who don't get cheated on? Y'all mamas and daddies, your daddy probably cheated on your mama. You don't know how many times. Y'all acting like cheating is now murder. Like a person cheating, y'all just act like they just like public enemy number one. Like since when has, because somebody cheated on somebody, been equivalent to somebody being public enemy number one? Stuff happens, especially in situations with young adults. They are in their early 20s. You know how many non-committed relationships there are with people in their early 20s? They happen to have like a more serious situation, but I mean, so does so many other people. There are people who get married young. There are people who get in serious relationships young, and it doesn't work out because, you know, it takes a certain level of maturity to stay committed and stay, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really condemn a person just because they cheated. Oh, this person cheated. Another thing a lot of people are saying to condemn her, another thing that people are saying to condemn her is, oh, she drinks alcohol. Ooh, she can't be a mom. Y'all sit up and watch y'all mamas drink wine every single day while she taking care of you, washing the house, taking care of home. Like a lot of mothers, they have a long day at work and they come home and they wind down and they drink wine and everything like that. That's alcohol. Are they bad parents? Should their parenting rights be stripped away? I'm not a person, I don't smoke cigarettes, and you know, that's just my personal preference. But because a person decides to smoke like what is a Black and Mild, which is equivalent to a cigarette, oh, now they're not able to be a parent. How many of y'all who judging Damo for smoking a Black and Mild have parents who smoke cigarettes? How many of you have either a mother or a father that smokes cigarettes? Are they bad? Are they bad because they smoke a cigarette? Does that mean that they no longer should be able to be your parent? No, it does not. So I don't think that it's right for people to try to condemn her on things that are not a detriment to Dominic's life. There are several parents, especially young adults, 21, 22. That's when people are drinking. That does not mean that they can't be a parent at the same time. I'm a mom. I drink alcohol. Does that mean that I can't have my child or I'm unfit mother? My daughter's father, he also drinks alcohol. Does that mean that he's unfit and he shouldn't be in my child's life? No. As long as you are doing what you got to do for that child, you're not putting that child in danger. You're not drinking alcohol, getting behind the wheel. You're not drinking alcohol, abusing the child. You're not abusing alcohol. Then I don't see a problem in that. And I don't understand why so many people are acting like that's just the worst thing in the world and the most, like I just don't understand it. I don't agree with it. That's just me. I have a different mentality. And I'm also somebody who went through a custody situation where I know the ins and outs of what it's like to be going through a custody war and everything like that. It's not a fun situation, but at the end of the day, you have to think about what's best for the child, not what's best for me being selfish in this moment, not what's best for my ego, not no get back or no regret or nothing like that. You got to think about what is the best interest of the child at that point. And I think the best interest of the child is for them to stop slandering each other on the internet, stop bashing each other on the internet. Because at the end of the day, they both agreed. Damo agreed to have Crissy as her co-parent. She did not go through the in vitro by herself. She went through the in vitro with Crissy by her side. They have video documents of their entire journey. Crissy was at the doctor's appointments. Crissy was at the situation. So in my eyes, I feel like that's the same thing as you laying down with somebody and having sex with them and y'all having a baby. She was there when she was inserted. So it's not like it was a situation where they were together. Damo went through the situation and then later she had a baby or like, it's not that. Like somebody in my comments even said, if you have a boyfriend and you get with a boyfriend right now and he is around your baby, does he have a right to see your baby? That's not the same thing. They planned this baby together. This was a planned baby. This was a planned child. This was not a situation where the person has entirely no obligation to the child. She bonded with that child. She skin to skin. Like I've seen several videos of baby Dominic on her body, like bonding with her and everything like that. So I don't think that it's right the way that the internet does people. I just don't like the crucifixion on people doing things that are not detriments. Like if she is not, stealing from people, robbing from people, you got these YouTubers that's out here scamming people out their money. You got people out here, having people following their footsteps and doing all these wrong things and looking up to BS. And then you have somebody where, they both have videos where they give back and they bless their fans and they, do all these things. Is she smoking a black and mild now? Yes. Is she able to? Is that against the law? No, it's not. Like my best friend right now, he smoked black and milds. He don't smoke no weed, nothing like that. He don't like the smell of weed. He don't like to be around weed, but he smoked black and milds. He don't smoke weed. It's not illegal. That does not make you a bad person. And a lot of people are saying, oh, she doing this and that. But is she doing that around Dominic? That's the thing. Like how I act when my child is not here versus how I act when my child is present, that's what matters. How is she treating Dominic? Is she abusive to Dominic? Is she reckless with Dominic in her care? That's what y'all need to be worried about instead of how she is outside of him being in her care. But that's all for this video. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I'm just not a person that just goes with what the public automatically like, oh, everybody's siding this way, so I'm just going to come and make a video to please public, the group think. That's just not me. I don't participate in group think. I participate in how I think. I have knowledge of situations. I know situations, and I know, what's right from my opinion, and that's what I'm going to go off of. I don't go off group think. If I did, I would definitely have you know, my subscribers would definitely be way more now because people like you to think how they think. And then that's another thing. People think that you're not able to have a difference of opinion. Like, we can agree to disagree. We don't always have to agree. We can agree to disagree at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, I feel like Damo is wrong. I feel like she's using the baby as a pawn, and she's being the typical bitter baby mama that the internet normally drags. But because she has a likable personality, it's okay. And everybody is okay with it because Crissy cheated. Crissy ain't killed nobody, ain't robbed nobody, but because Crissy cheated, then that warrants her to be able to have her child ripped from her. I don't think that that's right. Just like when Chris and Queen broke up, it would not have been right for Queen to rip that baby from him because that's his baby at the end of the day. That's Crissy's baby at the end of the day. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So that's all I got to say about this, and it is what it is. Alright guys, that's all for this video. Stay tuned for more celebrity news and YouTubers tea. But in order to do that, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button right now. Don't wait, do it right now. Alright guys.